me real quick get Murray. He's a CPA. Way to go. He's in the middle of tax season, and he's still, participating. I love that. Murray, what would you like to accomplish today?
I know this is probably very ignorant, but...
Who is the wizard? Because I missed that.
The wizard is a very mysterious person. Nobody knows who the wizard is, actually. Nobody knows.
How do you say he's your best friend, then?
Well, he's a wizard.
Oh, okay.
So he's my best friend. He's amazing, I'm telling you. He is the smartest person I think I know on the planet, bar none. Although Tom, it seems like the wizard somehow pulls out Tom's knowledge and takes that for his own, and Peter's knowledge and takes that for his own. So he somehow pulls everybody's knowledge out. So he's not only the smartest person, and he'll tell you that too. He'll say he's the smartest person in the universe. I mean, he's not God. He knows that. He says that a lot. He's so smart, though, that people think he's God. It's crazy. People are like, he thinks he's God. He's like, he doesn't. But he's so smart, people think, he thinks he's God. But not only is he the smartest person on the planet, he'll tell you that, but he also is the most humble creature in the universe. It's weird. But thanks for asking. You're far better than Lou. Lou he doesn't know how to play well. But anyways.
Hey, Mark?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the young lady who was talking before
Nicole.
We took the
Yep,
break?
absolutely.
Just a couple of things. And maybe my first thing is a question to you. Do you ever find yourself with this person that you were asking the question about, when you're in a meeting and something comes up and you need something done? Is it always, well, we can give it to Mary, she'll get it done? Or Mary, why don't you take that over? I find myself sometimes doing that, and it's because I haven't sat with that person and communicated to them that you need to let me know when we need to stop giving you everything right now. And on the other hand, it also should be a key to say, you got to start growing some other people in your organization, because you're letting them off the hook while you're overloading Mary, so to speak. So you have to look at both sides of that process, I believe.
Peter and Tom, have you both read Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg?
Yes, I have. Long time ago, but I did.
So, yeah, it's an unbelievable book. I mean, that thing the insight it gave me about women in the workplace and business. So this is the thing, Tom, that I think, Nicole's a young woman, and so it seems like not all women, obviously, but, 75% of women, roughly, are going to be expressive or amiable. 25% of men will be. 75% of men will be analytic or driver, and 25% of women will be. So it's not, I think a lot of times, prejudice or profiling or whatever that is, we think it's male and female. It's really personality, but because there's so many women or men in a personality, they kind of get this is what it's like to be a man or woman, but it's not. But anyways, I Nicole doesn't recognize Tom and Peter how much she's holding that intern back. And women will tend to do that. Women and amiable men, will tend to go ahead and hold people back because they don't want to. They don't want to go ahead and put too much stress on them. They don't want to go ahead and overstress them or overpressure them. So how do we help Nicole, recognize that part of growing up is having too much put on you? And it's okay. And I think, Tom, what you're saying is absolutely right. Nicole needs to go ahead and say, if I put too much on you, you need to let me know. And then she needs to put too much on her. How do we help Nicole, who's a young woman and amiable and analytic, how do we help her not to hinder somebody by not overwhelming them?
Well, what I found the first time I really made that mistake was when I sat down and said to the person that we're talking about, I want you to, I'm giving you basic license to tell me when you think you've got too much. And she still continues to take it all. Then when I sat down with her and said, I expect you to let me know when you have too much, it was a whole different, it seemed to change the dynamic a lot by just basically saying, I expect you to do this. If you take on too much and can't get it done, then the company doesn't get to go where it's got to go.
That's good
and
stuff.
And she doesn't get to go where she wants to go.
That's really good stuff. Does that help, Nicole?
Yeah.
Cool.
It really does.
Elise, what would you like to accomplish today?
Well, I was just curious if you could talk a little bit more, I think in specifics, as to how this course could help a business owner in construction or a CPA firm who's currently growing and having some employee management difficulties.
Okay, I got my thoughts. Peter, Tom?
All I heard before it went completely blank was I'd just like you to talk a little, and then I didn't hear anything until you just spoke.
So how can leverage the course, how can it help individuals that own construction, like builders or construction and or CPA firms, how can it help those types of companies?
Well, for me, I don't see that it's limited to anything or anybody.
Right, but if somebody, like most people, like Tom shared a few weeks back, where people always think you don't understand me. Like, you got to talk. So if Elise was talking to somebody specifically like a builder or specifically a CPA and said, like, what would she say different to a builder, or what would she say different to a CPA firm to help them understand that this course is for them?
I know Tom's got a different answer, but I mean, goals are goals. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm talking to a CPA, their thought process may be more linked to, P&L or personal taxation or finance versus somebody in the construction industry. But the basic path is still to help people determine how to add more value to their business if they're looking to improve the performance of their business. So to me, it's the same, but just different criteria.
Tom?
So I would look at it from the standpoint, if I assume everybody can see the model sitting here. So I would address it from the standpoint of, wouldn't it be nice if you could understand people? All the people you come in contact with, your family, anybody else, if you could understand what makes them do the things they do and think the way that they do. Then wouldn't it be nice to take that and move it into your business? Do you think that by understanding people better, not only the people who work for you, but the consumers that you're going after for your product or services, wouldn't that help your business move forward? And if all of those two things really work, wouldn't that then additionally help you in your life for whatever long-term or even after business, whatever your goals may be? If you could answer yes to those three things, this course is for you.
Does that help, Elise?
Yeah, thank you.
So for leverage, technology, is great leverage. And so if you write down, 11:10, you get that segment, what Tom said, and you clip that out and put that in just a, 30-second, 10-second, whatever it was, and you get somebody to go ahead and listen to that. like Tom's voice and his passion and what he's able to take this whole big confusing model and break it down into people, business, life. Like easy peasy. Like, this is not complicated. And so you get his voice, you get his belief system, you get his power, his energy, his force. You get people to do that. You'll get so many people signing up for this course, Elise, it's insane. Does that help, Elise?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Rosanna, what would you like to accomplish?
I was just going to ask how Peter and Tom and yourself feel that leverage is helping you in your business.
Peter?
Well, as I told you from the beginning, it's organizing what I learned into a more efficient and effective process. So as Tom just described, I look at the ask questions, our intentions, capabilities, solutions, the listen, see, think, do, results. It's just for me, it's learning that very simple process and making sure you use it as a foundation, as opposed to so often you get to the point where things are just going wrong before you stop and realize you have to kind of go back to the beginning of that process, learn to see, think, do.
Tom?
Thank you.
Well, it's interesting because honestly, I haven't completed the whole course, sad to say, trying to get there. But I feel like I have completed the whole course because I've worked with you, Mark, for so long. And every time we talk about something, it's familiar to me because of what we talked. But when I look at just the circle that Peter just went over, I mean, it's really there. To me, everything in life starts with a question. That's what it's all about. And then somebody's got to listen. Once you ask a question, it's too bad God just didn't figure our bodies that once we ask a question, our lips lock closed and our ears got bigger. Because you've got to listen to whatever comes down. And when you start applying these things to your life or your business, it basically says to me, what is the highest and best use of me? And how can I apply that to anything that I'm doing right now? And if I can understand that and do that, then a whole world opens up to you.
Right, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you.
For me, tomorrow is my birthday. I'm 55. And
would kill to be there again.
And so, like Tom had said, I don't know what age it was, but you're on the back nine, like golf, like you're on the back nine. And so my parents passing away, both of them, close together just a couple years ago. Having 5 grandchildren, like legacy to me is so, and it's been important, but it's becoming more and more important. Like I've worked so long, so hard for so much, and I want to do more now. Like my mind is racing faster now than it's ever raced in my life. It's not slowing down, it's getting faster. I want to do more and more and more and more. And I see that my runway is running out, like I don't have as much time. And so for me, leverage, what it's doing is it's connecting the last 55 years, seriously, going all the way back into childhood, early, even 5 years old, and all of the memories, and going back through and going through the iterations and saying, okay, what did I learn? What did I learn? Bringing that back together. Okay, how do I do that? Now, I did leverage. Now, did I stop doing that? And so for me, what it's doing is it's accelerating the iterations to success. And so I believe this course will help me accomplish more than any other course I've ever taken. Because it's accumulation. It's bringing everything I've ever learned. Tom had said a number of times that he believes that there's not anything that ever happens to us that crosses our eyes or comes across our ears that it doesn't get registered in our brain. When he said that, I'm like, that's interesting. And so for me, it's taking my entire life and like a distillery, like distilling like alcohol down, it's 80 proof and 90 proof and 99 proof and 99.99 proof, like white lightning. It's like I want my last years or decades on this earth to surpass anything I've ever done previous. And so to me, this is for my 7 kids. This is for my 5 grandchildren and any other grandchildren I'm blessed with, to go ahead and help them accomplish so much more in life. And so, like Lou, when he combined everything together and Tom combined everything together, I see everything combined together in a miraculous, in a magical, in a spiritual way where it's all connected. And it's like, okay, how do I do a better job at being a great steward of my 7 T's: time, talents, treasure, trust, truth, temple, and thought? So how do I do a better job of that? And how do I do that, be a great steward of Tom's 7 T's? And how do I do a great job at, Peter's 7 T's? And so connecting Lou with Peter and having them hang out and do video together at Peter's dealership, to me, that is one of the most rewarding things. I'm like, it's connecting people together to help people to find, to ask the questions they don't even know to ask. And then to listen in a way that they've never learned to listen. To see things in a way they've never seen things, and to help other people see our intention of our heart. To think in ways that we've never thought, where we have capability that's even beyond our wildest dreams, that then give us the capability to do what's been in our heart from even a small child, but we've never known how to do it, to come up with those solutions that produce results that change the world. So that's what leverage is meaning to me.
Yeah, Mark, I remember, I don't know who said it first to me when I was a child, but this ask and you shall receive, right? So there's lots of interpretations of that as a kid and as a young man. I think when I first heard it, it was I want this or I want that and I should get it. When you go through life, you and especially if it's changing a lot, you realize that it's asking a question to get you where you want to go and not be fearful of that. So if I was learning to be a salesman when I was 23 years old, I'd ask all the capable salespeople how they did, what they did, and why they did, so that I could learn from it. As you go through life, you sometimes get caught up, when your time just seems like there's not enough of it. It's because you get some of these things out of order. You're too busy doing. It's backwards, doing, thinking, seeing, and then when you're overwhelmed, you might start asking questions. So the beauty of this to me is, even at 58, it's a reminder of the order and the virtuous circle that this is, or life is, of asking the right questions, listening, and then following the order around there. And when you do that, you don't get so overwhelmed with how much time you don't have, because there's a reason you're doing what you do. And that's why I said to you in the very beginning, I just want to be more efficient at what I've learned. And this is about as simple and as orderly as it gets. And you could spend days or hours on each quadrant in that listen and asking questions, or the next and so on and so forth, and then how you go round again continuously, prioritizing. But it is that simple. But boy, is it hard to be disciplined about it when you haven't learned to be disciplined about it.
Wow. Rosanna, does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Like, that was a brilliant question. Nice. All right. Anyone else have anything else that you'd like to accomplish today? So, in going through, I think next week we're going to reshoot lesson 1 probably. We'll see on that. And one more time, and it'll be 30 minutes, and then it'll be Q&A for 30 minutes or whatever time there is needed. So it'll be a little different. Maybe next week we'll talk with Tom and Peter about that and say, okay, when can you guys have a half where it'll be the 3 of us going through in depth lesson 1. So we're going to, now that we've gone through it, we've done it, we've talked about it, now we're ready to really deliver lesson 1. And then once we do that, then we'll get into lesson 2. And it's, so the people who take just a 7-week course, like, they're going to be blown away because it's so packed, it's so condensed, it's so tight with what it is. But the ones who gain the most benefit are actually not the ones that are going to take the 7-week course. It's the ones that have labored through this, that have dug into this, that have torn it apart and put it back together and tore it apart and put it back together again. And that is a magical experience. Again, if you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300. Or if you're calling in outside the U.S., you can call the U.S.-based number at 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. God bless and have an amazing day.